Well, Games Workshop is going to keep going after the 3D printable miniatures, guys, because, well, that action is just a tiny piece of the strategy they use each year to keep making more and more money. Here are the financial results for Games Workshop in the previous year. Their financial year goes from about 1st of June to the 31st of May. And you can see that for last year, they made record revenue once again. Now, the thing is, that was not the only controversy that Games Workshop went ahead and got into last year. There is a supposed failed launch of the third edition of Horus Heresy. You had the comments made by several of their employees following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. You had the tariff drama here in the United States. And then finally, there was the bit of a fiasco about the Space Marine with the extra fingers. And it seems that even though most of those caused a bit of a stir on the internet, well, they really didn't affect the bottom line of Games Workshop, at least enough to cause them to make less money and less profit than previous years. So you can see here the core revenue I just pointed out a moment ago. This is pretty much the sales of Warhammer and Warhammer related things. It is up a fair number of British pounds. Also, total revenue is up a little bit, and profit down here is also up. The only financial stat that actually saw a decrease over the past year is going to be the licensing revenue. You can see it went down from 52.5 million British pounds down to just under 33 million pounds. And well, that's not entirely unexpected. The number there for the 1st of June 2025, that covered the launch of the video game Space Marine 2. So we would expect that year's licensing revenue to be quite a bit higher. And the drop back down to 32.9 million pounds in licensing revenue, well, that's more along the lines of what we've seen over the past few years for Games Workshop. So there is one thing I want to point out over here on page 6 of the report. Just so you guys know that this increased revenue that Games Workshop is seeing is not entirely because of the fact they have a tendency to raise their prices every year. We once again have designed, made, and sold in record quantities the best fantasy miniatures in the world. So while we never see exact sales numbers for various product lines, it does seem that the actual number of sales that Games Workshop is seeing is growing year to year. Now let's take a look and see if there's any evidence for any of these supposed controversies and how they affected Games Workshop, or if Games Workshop had anything to say about them. So let's start with the idea that the Horus Heresy launch was not particularly successful. This is something that was kind of going around on the internet, the month or two after the release of that new box set. When it comes to the Horus Heresy, it only gets mentioned at one point in this report on page 8. So let's read that little section right now. Warhammer, the Horus Heresy. A new edition in July 2025 provided some never-seen-before miniatures from this deep, rich story, along with an updated version of the rules. Ongoing sales show that hobbyists are busy bolstering their armies with new additions to take advantage of new tactics that come with the new rules. So it's a pretty generic statement, doesn't really say a whole lot about whether the game was successful or not. Ideally, if the game was doing very poorly, Games Workshop might say something about that. Now, there is one other thing we can look at in this report. Now, over here on page 7, this paragraph is not Horus Heresy specific, but it's talking about how Games Workshop kind of measures the growth of sales year over year, 1 month at a time. And what we notice here is that over the 10-year period ending May 2026, we have delivered 102 out of 120 months of year-on-year core business sales growth. A reminder that the Games Workshop team is sensational. We missed a few due to COVID, a few due to Brexit, and a few when we were up against a particularly high prior year new release launch, and 2 this year. So in the past 12 months, there's 2 months where they did not get year over year growth. One was in January 2026 due to snowfall at our distribution hub in Memphis, blah, blah, blah. And the other one we missed was in May of 2026. We missed by 1.5 million. That still hurts. So the reason why I bring that up is if we go back to June of 2025, July of 2025, when it would be the first few months of the Horus Heresy launch, both of those 2 months had higher sales than previously in June and July of 2024. So at least this is a little bit of evidence here suggesting that indeed the Horus Heresy launch was not a complete disaster, as the internet would like to believe. But once again, we don't get detailed sales numbers, so we really can't confirm that 100%. It is possible games like Warhammer 40K, Age of Sigmar, or Old World picked up any sort of slack, if in case where Horus Heresy wasn't doing all that well. So the controversy of the Space Marine with extra fingers came up with this particular piece of artwork that was released not all that long ago. And you can see that here we see what it looks like 5 fingers on a Space Marine. But the problem is if you're holding some sort of pistol type weapon, well, from the direction here, you can only see 4 fingers. Of course, the thumb is going to be back here behind the grip, and therefore you should not be able to see the thumb like you can on this image. Now, of course, this caused the internet to believe that this was an AI-generated image, and to some extent, there's sort of a good history behind that. Traditionally, AI algorithms, when it comes to image generation, are very poor when it comes to generating the fingers of people, and they can do some really funky things. And it's even caused some people believe that major world leaders were killed in missile strikes. Look that up, it's kind of crazy. But in this particular case, Games Workshop did, at least according to them, say this was not AI, it was just sloppy work by one of their artists. Now, if we jump back to the report here on page 8, we do see a few paragraphs about AI and how Games Workshop is using that technology. In particular, I want to read the first paragraph. As noted in our November 2025 half-year report, we are not being complacent on the topic. We are carefully monitoring what others are saying and doing. We are not using AI at Games Workshop in our product design nor on the creation of our IP. This will protect the integrity and ownership of our IP. We have made a few human errors on the depiction of our products in our product marketing in the year. Oops. They were investigated fully to ensure that AI had not been used and that all our staff are following our internal policies. So presumably, Games Workshop is likely talking about this image. Maybe others are similar controversies. I'm not entirely sure. This is the one I'm aware of. So at least according to Games Workshop, this image and possibly a few others is indeed not AI. It's supposedly been fully investigated in that way. It's really just a bit of sloppy work by one of their artists. Tariffs were a major topic over the past year and a half or so with the whole Liberation Day thing. You can go back and look on the details of that if you're not aware of what was going on. But Games Workshop did have to pay some tariffs when it came to importing their products to the United States. And they have a few things to say about that here on page 7 of their report. Tariffs. Well, I thought this would be drama-free. How wrong I was. During the period, we paid around 12 million in new US tariffs, that's 12 million British pounds. Following the Supreme Court ruling, we reclaimed 7.8 million of tariffs for the period to February 2026. So when that Supreme Court ruling came down a little while ago, striking down most of the Trump administration tariffs, there was some question as to whether companies would be getting back that money and when that would happen. But it seems that according to Games Workshop, at least a decent chunk of that money has been returned as of the beginning of June 2026. Now, one other major controversy from the year that does not appear in this particular report were the comments made by several of the Games Workshop employees following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, earlier in the year, I did make a video covering the 6-month financial report from Games Workshop, and if you want to go back to that, you can make an argument that Games Workshop was acknowledging those comments and that they were very bad, and that the employees had been disciplined, and did not explicitly say that those employees had been fired. So with that, let's jump over to the last big controversy from the year, which are the various times that Games Workshop has taken some sort of legal action or threatened legal action, depending on how you want to describe it, against several well-known creators who are making 3D printable miniatures designed to be compatible with Warhammer 40K. Jumping all the way down here to page 17 of the report, we're kind of skipping over where and what sales channels Games Workshop made their money. If you're really curious, you can go look at that on your own. It kind of breaks things down by the Games Workshop stores, their online store, and independent game stores. But here on page 17, we see a section called Assessment of Principal Risks and Uncertainties. So Games Workshop is basically telling their investors what are the things that they're concerned about that are threats to their business model. Now, the very first one here has actually been here for a few years and reads IP protection. Development and exploitation of our IP is fundamental to our future growth. Failure to protect our IP may erode our competitive advantage and or undermine our reputation, which will negatively impact our financial performance. An IP steering committee is in place with oversight of IP compliance processes and ensures ongoing review of our IP protection resources and capabilities. Our specialist legal IP and archiving teams maintain historical records and samples in respect of IP creation. Our studio and licensing teams work closely together to ensure IP consistency and correctness. Timely and appropriate action is taken against infringement of our IP. Now, I should mention that in this particular report, there is no actual specific reference to 3D printing, and you would think if 3D printing was indeed a very serious threat to their business model, they would bring that up. However, considering the last line here, timely and appropriate action is taken against infringement of our IP, and considering the action that Games Workshop has taken against some of the 3D printable miniature creators, as well as some of the other companies that are supposedly working on the behalf of Games Workshop, going ahead and filing copyright notices, they're definitely taking a look at the 3D printable gaming market and are certainly trying to go after people they feel that are infringing on their intellectual property. Therefore, I would not expect Games Workshop to change anytime soon when it comes to going after other 3D printable miniature companies which are making miniatures that are a little too close to Games Workshop's official miniatures. And once again, as I mentioned in the video, I talked about this a few weeks ago. No, this is not something Games Workshop is doing because they have to do it. It is something they're doing because they want to do it. So if you don't like the fact they're doing that, well, your best recourse is to stop spending money with them. And well, that basically brings us to the end of this video. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. There are some notes in here about the Warhammer TV show. You guys have probably already seen the reports about bringing somebody on. I'll look into who that is later. Some of the things like the Warhammer Plus subscriptions went up a little bit. That's not a huge big story, but if you're curious to know about numbers of that, they do keep track of that number of subscriptions each year in these reports. All right, well, I'll see you guys all next time.